Uh-oh. Hey, Poopa Stars. Ah, ah, ah. Hey, 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 hey. Get in here. Hit the like button when you get up in here. Hit that god dang like button. Period. Ooh, it's your girl Shay Renee. Hey, Poopa Stars. It's your girl Shay Renee. And I want to welcome everybody back to my channel. I'm back to a new stream. Um, ugh. Give me a second. Please just give me 1 second. Because, I'm not feeling that good. I'm not feeling that good, y'all. But I'm here. So hold on. Okay, y'all. Let's go. Turn the light off because I don't know how long I'm going to begin. Hey, ha. Hey. Let's see. Hey, Poop Stars. Hi, y'all. It's your girl, Shay Renee, and I want to welcome y'all back to my channel. I told y'all. Yeah. Hold on. Button. Please hit the like button. Scoot up in here and get up in here. Scoot up in here. Scoot up in here like a bumper car. I'm dripping south like it's no tomorrow. Let me see. I'm trying to see. What's today? What's today? Y'all know I don't know what today is, child. I said it. I think it's Wednesday, I believe, child, because the traffic be stirred. The traffic be stirred on Wednesdays for whatever reason. It's crazy. Hey y'all. I told y'all I was feeling bad. I think I was just hungry. So shout out to that. Hey, good morning, y'all. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feel? Oh my God. Y'all tell me why. Y'all remember yesterday, I was talking to y'all about the landlord. I said, Lord, please don't ever let that anger find me. Please don't ever let that kind of anger find me. Let me tell y'all. So, a landlord in Wilson, North Carolina, unalived his tenant and her son, y'all. For real. Crazy. Why would he do that? And then he popped another lady. The other lady, she okay, I think. She in the hospital. Or she was taken to the hospital. She good. But a landlord who allegedly wanted his tenant out and couldn't wait. Unallowed her. That is so sad. And her son. I'm like, damn, man. Damn fool he was. Mm, 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 mm. God damn. That man must have been having money problems. That's all I could think of, you know. Struggling. Needed a new tenant in there. Wanted a new tenant in there so bad. Didn't want to wait on the process. Pop the damn lady. I was telling y'all that about that yesterday. But I meant to go get more information on it. So I apologize. My bad, y'all. That I didn't get more information on it, but prayers, okay, for the people who are no longer here over that crazy foolishness. You hear me? But I went to look up the story, child, and found out that his sister was arrested too. Child, they didn't lock her sister up. For playing mind games. Nah, what she did, they saying that the pow was broken. And the sister took a piece of the broken pow and gave it to her brother before he fled off. So she in trouble too. She in jail for something. I forgot what they got her in the slammer for, but the brother is definitely in the slammer and it's not getting out. Period. He's in jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect the $200 either. You see? Crazy. Y'all. Crazy out. Crazy out. It is crazy out here. I'm telling y'all. That's why if you can keep your cool, keep it. You know, because you never know. You just really don't know. It's crazy out here. And I know we all want to live like the daddy said on Friday. You see, to fight another day. Ooh, excuse me. So shout out to that. Baby, when I tell y'all, I fucking needed that little, I needed these little, this little protein. I did. I was feeling sick. I had started feeling bad. Kids are so weird and can be so challenging sometimes. You know, I'm sitting here thinking about how my kids, like, you know, they like different stuff. Like one likes mustard, the other one doesn't. One likes peanut butter jelly, the other one doesn't. It's crazy to me. And then you try as a parent, right? Not to force them to do stuff like how they used to do us. You know, when we was young, man, listen, you better eat everything on your plate. Why? Because it's kids starving. When I first became a parent, I used to try that, but it didn't work like that, right? But it did work, but I'm just gonna say like I didn't stick to that. I was just like, you know what? My job as a parent is to provide it. You don't eat it, you don't eat it. Fine. For real. I started treating my kids like it's your thing. Yeah, do what you want to do. Yeah, for real. I don't eat whatever it is you're trying to eat. But yeah, y'all, I'll be back. Hold on, give me a minute. I'm just doing a little something I need to do, cause like I don't know. I be it, I be putting shit off, and then it dawned on me that like, maybe you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's a different way. So yeah, shout out to that. Y'all know I was watching something just recently where Nick Cannon was talking, and it seems like Nick was talking about having all the kids, and like they was asking him if he could do it all over again, would he? And he was basically saying he don't really know, but he said he don't really know. I want somebody to ask Nick Cannon if he benefits from. Hold on. Okay, so y'all remember how I told y'all that I heard somewhere. Hey, make sure you hit the like button. Hold on 1 second. Cause I'm finna block this little fool today. Always coming over here talking about nothing. I'm gonna block you today, okay? Yeah, tired of playing. Anyway, people saw. So remember how I told y'all that, oh yes, Miss Preston Curtis done playing. You see, it is what it is. I mean, listen, even if you saw me on the playground, babe, you still ain't gonna be able to play with me. So shout out to that. Now, anyway, oh yeah, it's strict around this motherfucker. Real strict, but you're gonna love it. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. So anyway, oh, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Get in here and hit the like. But anyway, so y'all remember when I was telling y'all that I felt like Nick Cannon, like something about the umbilical cord. You know what I'm saying? Something about inside the umbilical cord can be life-saving and life-changing for Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember Nick has lupus, allegedly, I believe. I think he got lupus. Don't quote me. But he be sick. Y'all know Nick Cannon be sick. He used to, right? But I read somewhere that Nick had begun to take advantage of something that was in the umbilical cord of his children. You know what I'm saying? So, in other words, he was able to take something out of each child's, take something from each child's childbirth and allegedly store it. That helps him with his health. That's what I heard. So I told my pooper stars that. And now it's like everybody is dodging that question. You know, when it comes to Nick. Or either Nick don't want to talk about it. I don't know. But I'm like, help me out, interviewers. Why we ain't asking Nick about that again? I mean, because it is what it is. You know, ultimately, the only thing that I could think of is he don't want to admit to nothing like that. If it's true, it's all alleged here. Y'all know that. It's alleged. But if it's true, that's the only thing I could think of. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to say. And I really had you because, you know, da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da-da. So, maybe we might not never get that answer out of Nick. You did? Just saying. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, though. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. We're going to have a good day today. We're having a great day today. Okay? Period. And it's all going to be on stream. So, shout out to that. Anyway, y'all. Some Kool-Aid. I need to make some Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid. Ooh-wee, sauce, 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 got a lot of that. 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 Hey! Hey! What a bit one time. Fuck the laundromat. Sauce, 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 got a lot of that. Sauce, 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 we got a lot of that. Thirstiness is your issue. Yeah. For that I come commend you. Anyway, let's continue. On that, yeah, I hear you. Ooh-wee. Sauce, 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 got a lot of that. Sauce, 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 got a lot of that. Hey. Man, I think South Walker is almost ready for a versus. I think South could do a versus. It's just like with who though? Ooh, with who? I think the only person that I would put South Walker up against a versus with would be Kodak, maybe, but I don't know. Sauce is my boy. That's my boy. Like I like Sauce. Fuck with the music, heavy. But I don't know if he's ready for Kodak. And it's crazy though, because y'all know Sauce is in my top 5, man. He is. He in my top 5. But still, Kodak will catalog. Man, it's everything. Hold on, y'all. I'm coming back on camera in a minute. I'm on it. Sauce got a lot of that. Sauce got a lot of that. Good morning and happy Wednesday to all my poop stars who's struggling and striving. Y'all better keep it up. Keep it up. I'm telling you, just keep going. I'm telling you, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what it looks like. Keep going. It could look like ain't shit happening. Keep going. Okay? It could look like you know, ain't shit gonna happen. Keep going. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm telling you, keep going, okay? Consistency will get you where you wanna be. All right? So shout out to that. And then I'll take it a step further. Sometimes, this is why I tell my kids all the time. Most of the time, you're gonna have to do what you don't, what you need to do, so you can sit back and chill and do what you want to do. Okay? So shout out to that. Consistency kills all that other bullshit. Hold on. So I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but keep going, okay? Period. I promise you, you just keep going, you're going to get the results. You're going to look back and be like, you know what? All that other shit I was on was irrelevant. It'd be irrelevant. Promise you that. Period. Yep, consistency kills all that bullshit. My bad, y'all. Child, so what's going on? Let me tell y'all something. So, let me tell you, bodysuits. So today I got on a bodysuit. Yesterday I had on a bodysuit. Okay? And like, I don't be snapping them. Yeah. And I know I ain't the only one, so shout out to that. Now, I want to know, what is everybody doing with their bodysuits? What is y'all doing? It's like, has anybody ever cut it? This is what I want to know. Has anybody ever cut the damn snap of the bodysuit? Okay? Because your girl want to know, how is y'all rocking that shit? You know what I'm saying? Can you cut it? Can you cut it? Because I have so many bodysuits yeah, that I'm not snapping. It's crazy. Like this one. Bodysuit. Tucked. Tucked in, no snapping. You see? Child. Bye. Ooh-wee, sauce, got a lot of that. I was listening to that. And I was listening to that Sauce Walker this morning. I said, Sauce is crazy. A lot of eggs in the house on Sauce. My kids. They kills me when they be rapping along. They definitely know that Sauce Walker music, okay? They know that Sauce Walker. Shout out to that. Ooh-wee, sauce, got a lot of that. Hold on, y'all. Thirstiness is your issue. He said, for that I can't commend you. Ooh-wee, sauce, got a lot of that. One time, the laundromat. Hey, let me hear that. Okay, and shout out to YouTube and Sauce Walker, because I love the fact that when you type in South music, they'll keep playing South. Yeah, so shout out to that. I think some people don't be having enough music, but I don't know, because that's not true. Some people got a lot of music and they still... I got 3 cell phones. Call all of them. Had to put a pause on it. He said, I've been gone chasing paper. Jackson want to be about it. ain't shit free, little bit come pay. What is that I didn't click on? Ooh-wee. Child, so hold on, y'all. So Chrisean's family drama continues, y'all. Oh my God, it continues kinda. I meant to put kinda in the title, okay? Because Chrisean been chilling, y'all. She been chilling, you know. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Maybe she just, you know, in the planning phase and stage or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she just chilling. She ain't got no business to handle right now. Which I'm not mad at her. Because, you know, under Chrisean's circumstance, she really don't need no camera stuck in her face all the time. You know? It is what it is. She don't need no camera stuck in her face all the time. Chrisean is a brand. So that means she only needs to be filming when she needs to be filming. You know what I'm saying? But child, the family drama continues because one, I've been meaning to tell y'all about this. One, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know her like that. But Blueface ain't. Okay? The one who was rocking with Chrisean, liking Chrisean, on Chrisean's side. Y'all remember Chrisean had took the baby. I think Chrisean took the baby to see her before. Her and the grandma, I think. But don't quote me because I could be wrong. Child. Blueface ain't is in her feelings. You know what I'm saying? After Chrisean said that Chrisean isn't Carlissa's blood. It's just like, oh Lord, how much can this girl take? You know? Find the backwood. You look in my mouth, this game over? Hey. He say, you wearing Prada, Gucci and Prada. I ain't sent your brother $1. So I've been a young thug before the racks. they was tripping. He was really, I don't know. I don't know. Sada, baby, let me know, Sada. What was up with that? Was that look, you know, that Young Thug or what? But anyway, as far as Chrisean goes, y'all, her family drama continues. But Chrisean really ain't in the mix this time. So shout out to her, shout out to that. I don't know why Chrisean thinks she gotta tell everybody where she at all the time. Stop that, Chrisean. Yeah. Girl, stop it. Or at least start lying. Yeah, I'll tell the motherfuckers you in New York sitting right in LA. I mean, it just is what it is. Like, sometimes you gotta learn to shoot folks to the moon. Especially when they be playing with you. You see? Yeah. So shout out to that. Now, anyway. So, she's somewhere. I don't know. I think she at her big sister house. Tasiki. The one that's gonna get in there. It is what it is. Like swimwear, the big sis. Yeah. Got ho. Um, Child. But anyway, it's not Chrisean's drama. Finally, thankfully, girl, yes. But like, word on the curb is Chrisean. I don't know. I think she like linked with one of her sisters. The sister is in jail though. And Chrisean got her niece right now. It's crazy. Crazy. Hey, good morning, Pooper Stars. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. And let me know what you think about what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Child Chrisean. Okay. Got her niece. Cause her sister went to jail. Now, word on the curb is they been saying that the sister's in jail for shoplifting. That's what people been saying. But her sister, okay, yeah, the sister. Shout out to her. She said her sister's not in jail for shoplifting. She said she not. She ain't got a lie about that. But this is the thing though. I know she also, right? The sister also keeps saying that she do. She also keeps saying that the sister not in jail for shoplifting, but she's saying something about like she don't have no new case too. So it's like, okay, I think she in jail for something old. It just is what it is, child. For real. And like, child, it just is what it is. Chrisean got her niece for now, which is a small little baby. I'm gonna show y'all a video. She showed the kids. She showed the babies chilling together with her. In her care or whatnot. So, you know, it is what it is. That's probably why we haven't saw Chrisean. Okay? Because Chrisean is somewhere trying to be a mother to her baby. It just is what it is. Thank the Lord, okay, for that. That's a blessing. So anyway, this is the last thing that she had posted. Well, this is the last thing that I saw that Chrisean had posted. Which, hold on, before we get into that, let me show y'all this. Hey, good morning, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, okay? Period. When you got haters on the loose, you gotta combat that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta combat that. Everybody gonna have to come through and shut that shit down. You see? Yeah. So shout out to that. Now, anyway, this is what Chrisean had posted. She posted a video of her boyfriend, Bino, getting baptized with his daughter. She had posted that. And then she posted this. Y'all see that? Hold on. I don't know why I can't see that. Let me see. Oh, okay, yeah. Hold on. Y'all see that? That's her and her baby and her niece. She said trips. So anyway, allegedly she got her baby. She got her baby and she got her niece. And they wherever they at. I think they at they honestly, I think she around her big sister right now. Okay. You like, which one? Girl, that girl got a whole lot of sisters. So shout out to that baby. She got options, okay? The truth of the matter is, like I said, man, Chrisean and her family could do some type of real deal takeover. You know, especially if she's still on good terms with Lemmy. Okay? It just is what it is. Like, square business. Take the shit over. Now, they could. They really could. So I hope she's somewhere getting it together and just figuring it out. You know, sometimes it do better like bringing them on board. You know, versus trying to be out there all by yourself. Okay, and I take it a step further. It's so many aunties in there, baby. Like that baby should never have to go to no babysitter, shit, or no nanny. You know, I mean, it just is what it is. One of the aunties don't work. Shit, one of the aunties can't work. Not saying like that, but I'm just saying everybody in America don't work. So like, you know, for me, it's giving, girl, just, you know, but it's sad too though, because everybody don't, you know, get along with family. Listen, the list goes on and on and on and on, you know. But yes, superstars. I just wanted to update y'all. Now I will say this. I saw Chrisean's sister. Shout out to her sister, Unique. She been posting. Shout out to her. She said she the one who said her sister ain't in jail for shoplifting. She also the one who said, you know, something about like, you know how you got a warrant somewhere and then you go to jail somewhere else and then you just sitting waiting to see if they gonna come get you. That's what's going on with the sister, allegedly. I'm sorry, y'all. I got distracted. I was trying to see if this boy had on this hat I got. Well, I used to have. I don't even know if I had it no more. I might. But anyway. Yeah. So, Chrisean, family drama continues a little bit. But like, at least she on the outside skirts of it. Okay. This time. Yeah. Yeah, for now. But she probably have a little help. Because I think, I'm not positive though. Do not quote me. Please don't quote me. I think, do y'all know where her big sister live? The one from Baddies? Because I think that's who she with right now. They got like club appearances and stuff like that. I think that's where she at. You know, I feel like she got help with the baby, but she definitely got her niece right now in her care. And they don't know when the sister gonna get out, for real. She got 100, her bond is 150. I heard her sister say it was 2 something, so that's good. It went 150,000. It went from, I said, damn, that's a high bond. Yeah, I don't know what her sister did. Okay, I just don't know. I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not, like, listen, I'm not that type of YouTuber. So shout out to that. Like, some of these people, baby, they go look up everything. I'm not, You see? I'm not looking up no freaking, listen, the only time I'm looking up arrest warrants and shit like that is if I know you personally, okay? It just is what it is. I'm not, we all different. So shout out to that. Like 2 Chainz said, baby. And that I'm not doing. So anyway, though, shout out to Chrisean Rock, cause she been laying low a little bit, like Whitney Houston said, and I think that's good for her. I do. I think it sucks for us content creators, but I think it's good for her. Sure, I do. I sure do. Like I said earlier, when I first started talking about Chrisean has to realize, like, she can't have no camera in her face all the time, morning, noon, and night. She can't. She don't have that type of life. Okay, she got too many haters on the internet. She got too many people watching her every damn move, every move. Not to mention, Chrisean kind of has an issue with lying a little bit too. So then you got that. You know what I'm saying? You got people adding up and subtracting everything you say. With that being said, Chrisean only need to be online for money. For the money on. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Playtime is over for Chrisean. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But I wonder how long the baby gonna be with her. You know, because that's a lot. Two toddlers. 2 toddlers is a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But shout out to Chrisean, though, who is an underdog. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people want to see fail, too. So that's crazy. You know? So shout out to her. I hear you, Megs. Make sure you hit that like button. Yeah, that's true. And hopefully he gets what he needs, right? It just is what it is, you know? For real. I'm starting to understand the internet more and more and more when they be like, "What the hell you want us to do?" You know, it's like it's nothing we can do, Megs. For real. It's nothing we can do. But, pray and, you know, some people take it a step further, but I'm not doing all of that. I'm not. I'm not going to do all of that, because I look at it a different way. I always have and I always will, taking kids away from bad families isn't always, I know that it needs to be done. I know it's necessary sometimes, but like sometimes it's also good to just, help the families. And I know they do that too. As they should. Sure. Because placing children with strangers is not always the best idea, And that's my thing. That is my thing, right? I'd rather see Junior with his mother. Truth be told, I would. I'd rather see Junior with his mother, who gets the education that she needs to care for him, right? Than putting him with a stranger, a complete stranger. Sure. I just rather that. It is what it is. Not to mention, like, I just always look at the downside of adoption and CPS and stuff like that. Because there is a downside, it is. What about the fact that, like, children grow up feeling a ways, about not being with their family? You know? What about the children that grow up in horrible situations because they were in placement? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy and it's sad. But I feel like it's something to think about. You know, that's just my personal feelings on it. You know, I don't think it's just like, oh yeah, take Junior away and like, I don't feel like that's the best option. You know, I don't feel like that's the end all be all. I don't feel like that, like, oh, take him away from his mother and like all problems solved. Absolutely not. You know, absolutely not. Because the system is the system. And honestly, I don't think nobody deserves to be in the system. I don't. I think the system tries. I do. Honestly, I think they try their best to give kids the best. But ultimately, it just seems so institutionalized a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It do. It do. It seems so cold and stuff like that. So like, okay, so like, here's an example. So like, let's say, you know, I can't explain it. I can't explain it. Just never mind. You know, I just feel like it's just not the best place. I don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know how to explain it. But like it's work for most people. You know what I'm saying? I find it to be cold. You know, it's cold and it's work. It's not the best situation. I feel that. I mean, I feel that in my hearts of our hearts. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say, and I don't care what nobody think. You know, like those are my thoughts. And the crazy thing is, I have seen amazing foster parents. I have. I'll take it a step further. I know amazing foster parents. It doesn't take away the fact that like it's a sad situation. You know what I'm saying? It is. It be sad. And no matter how normal they try to make the situation, okay? I know that's right. Okay, Megs, thank you for dropping through. I appreciate you. I think that no matter how, oh, make sure you hit the like button too before you leave. I just feel like no matter how it's just, I don't know. I can't explain. I just feel like it's not the end all be all, right? It's not. It's not the end all be all. You know. But I do understand people. I understand people feeling like, you know, Chrisean needs like possible like parenting classes and stuff like that, you know. But ultimately, I think she just needs to sit down and listen to some damn body. It just is what it is. She has too many mothers around her to not know. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line, you know, because she don't need no damn system or no damn parenting class to tell her, Chrisean, the baby has to go to the doctor. Okay, when you take him to the doctor will then start telling you what he need. You know, but start there. Start with the doctor. Bottom line, you know. Bottom line, that's just that. That's a simple conversation that don't take all of that. You know what I'm saying? It don't take all of that. It don't take removal and all of this and all of that. And I will take it a step further though. You know, I will for the people who whatever. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, it's just a simple do this, do that, do it this way, don't do it that way. You know, that's just that. Honestly, I feel like Chrisean don't really sit still with nobody long enough to, oh, excuse me, to learn something. Shit, that's crazy. Because remember when she first had her baby, Marsh was around for a little bit, but Chrisean, like, man, Chrisean is one of them parents, truth be told. She one of those parents that just need a little extra, if that makes sense. Extra support, extra guidance, extra talking to, you know. Because at the end of the day, I do feel like she wants what's best for her and her baby. But I also feel like she is struggling with making a living, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she's struggling with like what a lot of parents do. Come on, y'all. Shit, like come on. Either we with it, either we been here before or we haven't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of parents struggle with, oh my God, who gonna keep my baby while I work? Where's my next paycheck coming from? Damn it, because I got bills to pay. The truth of the matter is a lot of people don't know how to juggle hardships. Been there, done that. And I just choose to look at things differently. I do. I choose to not kick people while they down. I choose to give people grace. And I also just choose to realize that, like, sometimes we not talking about no walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? We talking about parenting. Parenting is one of the hardest things you're going to do in your fucking life. Okay? So shout out to that. I mean, especially if you're a present parent. Yeah. And like it is what it is. Like I told my audience before, we've all seen a Chrisean. We all know a Chrisean. Some parents just struggle with parenthood. Some parents struggle with getting information. It just is what it is. Some people struggle with it. Like we all know a Chrisean. Like I said, we all know somebody that said, "This is hard. I'm out." Brother, sister, mama, daddy, somebody help me with my baby, cause I can't do this. We've all ran across somebody like that, I just think that her stuff sucks because it's out on Front Street, and then just the whole circumstance is just crazy, But, man, listen, Chrisean won't be the first or the last mother who literally, like, struggled, with her newfound, I'm not gonna say position, title. You see, being a mother is hard. Being a father is hard. Being a parent has challenges. It do, y'all. I don't know who need to hear that, but it do. And, you know, here we are. But I just feel like the system is definitely not the end all be all. And I don't like when people talk like it is. You know, I don't like when people talk like it is. You know, give this girl some grace. Give this girl some time to get her shit together. But then at the same time, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Chrisean has to be honest with herself. You know, either you're committed to this parenting thing or you're not. You know, but she got to be honest with herself. And it's sad too. It's really sad to watch because we see her, you know, we see her struggling. But again, she's not the first mother. You know, lots of parents struggle with parenting. You know, it's crazy though. It's so sad and kind of hard to watch. I gotta keep, you know, gotta keep it real, all the way real, right? But then at the same time, I will say this though. I do feel like some parents make it harder. You know, in a way, Chrisean is making parenting a little bit more of a challenge for herself because she doesn't want to lock in, it seems. She got to lock in. You know, if you're going to do it, you got to do it. Parenting really just ain't something that you could have one foot in and one foot out. You know? I really don't know what to say, y'all. I don't, you know. All I can say is prayers for her and the baby, okay? I pray that both of their needs, all right, are met. Especially his, okay? It just is what it is. But yeah, you know, there's that. Praying for him. Seriously, seriously, seriously. Praying for him. You know, but you know, it's gonna be okay. I feel like it's gonna be okay, and eventually, it will work itself out. Chrisean she just gotta keep trying. She gotta keep trying, and she gotta keep swinging at it. You know, it is what it is. Some days you have home runs, and some days you just back to bad in practice. You know. But she got to be committed. She got to be committed. She got to lock in with motherhood, like how she be locked in with, you know, these boyfriends and stuff like that. It just is what it is. But, you know, sometimes it just takes a young mother a while to find themselves in the midst of motherhood, you know, like at the same time. It's hard. It's hard. You know, and the sad, like I said, the sad part about Chrisean is she got everybody in her face talking about it. Yeah, you know, versus the regular people who, you know, mamas is somewhere gladly raising their babies. You know, it just is what it is. I seen a lady the other day picking up a kid from school as I was picking up my kids from school, and I'm like, bless her heart. You know, she looked old. And I was like, you know, that's a blessing. She's a blessing to somebody, obviously, because somebody got their old, whoever, grandma, mama, auntie, whoever she is to them, picking up their baby from school. You know, and it takes that sometimes. It really does. It takes a village. It's like, I don't have nobody to pick my kids up from school, so what I'm gonna do? In Chrisean's situation, I don't have nobody pay for everything that Junior and I need. So what I'm gonna do? You know, like those are her thoughts. She be trying to work. You know, I feel like shame on the people who don't want to give her no grace for trying to work. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the truth. You know. Imagine feeling like I gotta take care of my kid. Or we not gonna have shit. You know. There's that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, though, shout out to Chrisean Rock, who is slowly trying to figure it out, okay? Trying to figure out this thing called life, right? She's trying to figure out this thing called life, y'all. It is what it is. I feel like older people, you know, are less judgmental. I think, you know, I could be wrong though, but yeah. Life be lifing. Life be lifing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I feel like Chrisean, she just needs to figure it out. And it's sad too. Lord, it's sad. It's sad. Because imagine, like, the average mother, right, has her mother to lean on. You know? And Chrisean doesn't have that. So that's sad. But what a blessing though. What a blessing to have all those kids, you know, for her mother to have all those kids. So she got all those siblings who can help her out. But let me tell you something. This is what kind of world we living in, right? And that's why I get annoyed with it sometimes. I do. Because we live in a kind of world where people be feeling like we gotta work. We have to work. You know what I'm saying? So there goes the child care. You know, there goes the child care. Just right out the window. You know what I'm saying? Because the people that would normally be at home taking care of the kids, it's working. You know? It's sad. It's sad. But I feel like that is how things are ran here. You know? Which is crazy. It's crazy. Because ultimately, when you think about it, women should have the choice of working or not. You know, it shouldn't be it shouldn't be like, oh, you know, everything is so expensive and so high that even, you know, a hardworking man in the house isn't enough no more. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Excuse me. Mommy should be at home. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I hate that that's the way things are. I do. I hate that. Cost of living is just too way too expensive. Way too expensive. And that's why I tell y'all I'd rather, you know, have way more control over my own destiny. You know, shoot, I'd rather do everything on my own. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If it's hard, I'll take that route. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You know, at least, you know, it ain't just no, oh, they said this. Okay. You know, like, no. That don't make no sense to me. I just want to have way more control, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. I don't know. What song is this? I'm looking at a South Walker video, and it has the one who passed away from Memphis. What's his name? Is his name Say So? I do not know. I don't know his name. My bad. But I make sure I hit that like button. He yeah, got him in that video. That's sad. But yeah, Pooper Stars. It's your girl Shay Renee, and I'm just wondering, like, what do everybody be doing with their bodysuits? And I want to give everybody an update, okay, on Chrisean, and her family drama, which has slowed down. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. You know what I'm saying? Just for her and her baby's sake, for real. Because sometimes I worry about Chrisean too. I feel like she be dealing with a lot, dealing with a lot. Dealing with a lot. And some people can't take a lot. Child, let me see. They talking about some fans then walked out of Mariah Carey's concert. I'm not surprised. Because although I love Mariah Carey, I do. I love Mariah. I feel like Mariah is different. And I take it a step further. One time, and listen, I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying this like this is actual and factual, because I wouldn't do that, because I don't know that to be true, right? But like one time, let me just say this. I was watching something with Mariah before, right? And Mariah seemed lit. Let me say that. She seemed lit. She seemed like she had been drinking. And so I don't know why. I do not know why. But for whatever reason, what I took from that clip is Mariah might have, like, she might drink a lot. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And I'm not saying that like that's a fact. So don't come for me. This ain't that. You know what I'm saying? No defamation here. I said she might drink a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I said that because sometimes she just seems to be on something, if that makes sense. So, I guess for me as a fan, I just be trying to sit back and just, I don't know, maybe figure out what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because she doesn't appear to be sober most of the time. Okay, it just is what it is. Somebody was saying Mariah is the GOAT. What stage presence would they want? An icon in your presence is sufficient. Sing along or don't. And somebody said, I don't think being an icon is enough. When people are paying their hard-earned money or traveling to see you, they could listen to the CD by that logic. And then they also said she absolutely has no stage presence. She seems rhymes with rug, starts with a D, and under the influence of alcohol. That's what they said. Like she has no interest in being there. And that's what I was just telling y'all. She just seems like she be on it sometimes, to me. You know what I'm saying? That's just to me, in my personal opinion. Um, Somebody said, why does she even keep performing? She always seems like she's in pain or she doesn't want to be there. I agree, you know. But I would say this though, Mariah. Well, hold on, I won't say I agree with that because I don't always see, you know. I'm just saying, how can I put it? When I see Mariah always seems under the influence to me. You know what I'm saying? To me. Now, she was just recently on Chrisean stream. And on Chrisean stream, she looked like she was sober. But that's the first time I seen her in a long time looking sober. Okay? Somebody said, she seems unwell. I pray it isn't serious. Hold on, though. Let me see. Why does she keep performing? She always looks like she's in pain or like she doesn't want to be there. It's ruining her legacy. She has enough money. She should just retire and be the legend that she is. I kind of agree with that too. Because she don't really seem that into it. And then I'll take it a step further. Like, when you have unhealthy habits, the truth is, y'all make sure I hit the like button. I'm happy to have y'all here. Now, but when you have unhealthy habits, the truth is sometimes it's hard to put them down, you know, for work or for whatever you might need to put them down for. You know what I'm saying? In other words, you might like to drink a glass or 2 glasses of wine every single day when you wake up. But you know you can't do that on Sunday morning and you going to church. You know you're not going to be able to do that for church. You know you're not going to be able to do that Monday when you got that interview. But imagine people doing it anyway. Yeah. That's how Mariah comes off to me. Okay? She comes off like whatever she does on her downtime, you know, rolls over into her uptime. Yeah. You see, when she got to get going and she got somewhere to be. It just is what it is. And like, it takes a really strong team to like, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing though. I feel like teens be afraid. You know, it just is what it is. They say what they say and you say what you say and then they worried about you replacing them, right? Because it is what it is. They be surrounded by people that just don't tell the truth. You know, they just don't tell the truth. So that's my thing, you know what I'm saying, with Mariah. And anybody else that might have some type of struggles that they struggle with. I don't know if she does. I'm telling you what she appears to be. You know what I'm saying? What she is coming out in public. I'm telling you what she's perceived as, okay? Somebody said, that's my question. Why does she keep performing? She clearly doesn't want to and clearly isn't comfortable with it. My only thought is she must have some type of contractual obligations. She just announced a Christmas residency too. Now, see, that might be where the truth is. Maybe she just has to. You know, maybe she just has to. And maybe because she has to, she's doing it how she wants to, you know, and I don't know, dare I say it, she could be trying to sabotage stuff, you know, because if somebody is forcing her to do it, I know that's right. Hey, Pooh. Hey, boo. But yeah, no, if somebody is forcing her to do it, right, then she not gonna do it to her best ability, you know. And also, if somebody is forcing her to do it, then too, that might explain, you know, you know. Well, I won't say that, but I'll just say that, like, I think, honestly, I think people, like I said, when they do stuff in their downtime, it's just hard to stop. You know what I'm saying? When they got something important to do. Yeah. So, somebody said, what was they expecting? Do they not have the internet? So I'm assuming that, like, this is an ongoing thing. You know what I'm saying? For Mariah. Somebody said, are you serious? She must be in debt or something, because that makes no sense. They talking about the Christmas residency. Child, these people getting into it. I'm not finna read that. I don't know. I saw Mariah in concert in the late 90s, and she's never really been much of a performer, they said. Somebody said she's the worst performer ever. I saw her, and she lip sang and pranced around the stage. Oh. With that being said, she looks out of it in this clip. I hope she's okay. I told y'all, she do be sometimes. Somebody said, my theory is she lives an extremely expensive lifestyle and has to recoup those expenses through performing live. Even if she doesn't like it. That's what they said. Somebody said they both look on it. Because in reality, she shouldn't have to lift a finger, especially with the annual success of her Christmas music. But her lifestyle is so expensive. That probably doesn't even cover her yearly costs. Well, Mariah better cut her expenses down, you see? Because, like, outside of that Christmas stuff, yeah, it is what it is. And then I'll take it a step further. I know this is the thing. I know Mariah be getting all of that surgery, you see. But Mariah is older than a lot of people think, too. Okay, let's start there. She's old. It also explains her relationship with that billionaire. She wasn't into him. I forgot about that billionaire. Somebody said, as a Mariah fan, she doesn't need dancers or etc. But she isn't even singing her simple harmonies and has the audacity to continue going on stage, acting like she's on it and confused about what is happening. If she needs to heal or stop performing, then so be it. At this point, she is ruining her legacy with the absolute foolishness. She doesn't even try to continue lip singing a full verse. That's what I'm telling y'all. Like, somebody, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even care if it's the fans. Somebody got to check that. You know, it is what it is. When them tickets quit selling, you know, somebody said, if you a true Mariah fan, then you know she don't give a show. She just walks around in her gowns looking cute. Child, y'all making me never, ever, 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 ever want to go to a Mariah show. But this is the thing, too. If I was going to go to a Mariah show, I would have went years and years ago. Because, like, yeah, I don't know. I like her music, love Mariah down, but I'd rather see her when she is in a group. You know what I'm saying? Like, lots of people too. I would not go see Mariah alone by herself. Her music, everything is just too old, including her, for that. So to me, at some point, it's kind of the fans' fault too. I'm just saying, especially if y'all been hearing, you know what I'm saying? They said people was walking out. Somebody said I'm never walking out unless it's free. Somebody said it's medication. Allegedly. Y'all know I don't know. Let me see who said that. Oh, it don't even say. Miss Preston Curl didn't even say your name. Somebody said she never gave anything performance wise. She is pure vocals like Adele. Somebody said she looks good though, but they said she do look under on something. Now, see, that's the thing though. Like I said, I assumed that it was alcohol. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is something prescribed. I don't know. It's just it's alleged. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I'm just saying. You know, she is perceived to be under the influence of something. It's crazy though. And that's what I be talking about sometimes too, when people can't y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. When people can't just retire. Shit, retire. Like, what is the problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, what be the problem? Sure. This is the thing, when that money change, the like what's wrong, like right? So like for instance, in Mariah's situation, Mariah probably I'm gonna guess, okay? Let's just take a guess. Her income for the last 5 years has probably changed from the income that she was making 5 years before that. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, at some point, it's time to make a change, I feel like. Even if it's just like sell all of that shit. You know, sell out of that shit. Downsize. I don't know why celebrities don't just downsize eventually. You know? I'll take it a step further. To me, it wouldn't even matter, right? The money could be grand. Right? The money could be grand. But still, like, at what point do you say, you know, this was cool when I had it like that, you know, but now times has changed a little bit. I'm a little older now. You know what I'm saying? Let me see real quick. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, okay? And scoot up in here like a bumper car. Scoot up in here like a bumper car. I'm getting sus like it's not a mile. Hold on. You see what I'm saying? So like for instance, Diddy House in LA, the one that he's selling, 10 bedrooms. Like what? Like what's wrong with saying, okay, you know, now I'm gonna go get a 4. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go get a 4-bedroom. You know, I don't need that, all of that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's nothing wrong with celebrities doing that. Like, I know that, look, for real, I get it. Honestly, I feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a force thing too. Excuse me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe as a celebrity, sometimes they be like, nah, you gotta play the part, man. You can't be living somewhere like that. You know, who knows? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a celebrity, haven't signed that type of contract or deal or been in those type of dealings before, but who knows? Maybe it's like that for real, you know? Maybe it's certain stuff that just won't do for you, you know? Like for instance, you know, I don't know. Like, for instance, a celebrity living in a regular home, you know, might be a little, you know, it could get a little strange, you know, could get a little weird. You know what I'm saying? They might have people on their front yard every day, you know? I mean, I think it's lots of different reasons that go into all of the stuff that they do and all of the money that they end up spending and stuff like that. But, child, I'm telling you, if it was me, I would be so frugal. Even though I know it's frugal celebrities, though. It is. So, shout out to that, Candy. And Candy from the Real Housewives, Candy from Escape, she is one of them. It is what it is. Candy allegedly is frugal. You know, and allegedly that is what got Candy in the game still to this day. Being frugal. You know? It just is what it is. I tell my kids all the time, listen, I can't give everybody my money. Not everybody who asks for it. If I did, I wouldn't have none for myself and my family. You know? So, like, that's how I choose to look at life. Shoot. You know, it just is what it is. And at the end of the day, if you ask me, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Honestly, I feel like celebrities be getting in them horrible situations, deals, and contracts. You know, it just is what it is. And then stuff like this happens. Folks walking out, you ain't performing right, you ain't even up there looking like yourself, but you got to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? It kind of remind me of Bruno Mars. Shoot, it seemed like they were trying to say the same thing about Bruno. Like, Bruno is allegedly being forced, you know what I'm saying, to perform in Vegas. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's what they were saying about Bruno. So, yeah. And then anyway, speaking of celebrities that aren't doing so well, child, word on the carpet is Meek Mill. Shout out to Meek Mill. Shout out to you for that. Yep, I heard that. I did hear that. But could you imagine, like, I think we could, though. I think a lot of us could. Because we do be, you know, like a lot of us do be forced to work. It's either work or pick a bridge, you know, so. But it's crazy, you know, sad. It's really sad. Shit. Like, why can't people just, you know, stop? For real. At what point do they get to stop? Shit. Kind of remind me of Gladys Knight. Remember? Her son was upset just about 2 weeks ago, feeling like his stepdad is like forcing his mother to work at 80-something years old. He like, my mother is too old and fragile to be working, you know? And I had looked into it a little bit, and I was like, well, she married to that man that was a Hankerson. And I said, is this the same man that was Aaliyah's uncle and took Aaliyah over there with R. Kelly and was in the midst of all of that? Is that the same one? I was like, well, the son might have a point. You know what I'm saying? If that's the same one, you know. But when I think about it, it maybe ain't the husband. The husband probably can't say nothing either. It's probably the, you know, the higher ups. Shoot. You remind me of what Sauce Walker said. You know, Sauce Walker was saying that it's horribly, okay? Horribly sad that a lot of people who are older don't have no money. after putting in all of this work, you know, and having all of this art and music and stuff like that. And that's true. That is true. It is. It's true. It's sad. At some point, people should be able to stop. You know, stop touring. And just enjoy their money for real. I don't know. I really don't know about this, you know, this industry. Shoot, because how many people really get to stop? Now, it's one thing to keep going if you want to. It's another thing to keep going because you have to. Totally different. But again, though, meanwhile, back at the ranch, I don't think it's nothing wrong with some of these people just taking matters in their own hands and just, you know, shoot, I be damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna live in no $1 million nothing. It don't even take all that. One day you just wake up and realize, well, damn, you know? You mean to tell me that life still goes on, but in a smaller home, from a smaller home? Shit. I feel like eventually, it gotta, you know, gotta start clicking. It does. It just gotta start clicking at some point. But yeah, y'all. Anyway, and then speaking of which, Meek Mill, y'all know I got a saying here. We got a little inside joke. We say, does anything player ever happen to Meek Mill? Because Meek Mill is one of them celebrities where it's just always something. You know? It's like, damn, make you feel sorry for him. And so, like, yeah, I got a saying, does anything player ever happen to Meek? And not this time, okay? Because Meek is allegedly, he's a legend that he is blackballed. And I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wouldn't be surprised. Because it is what it is. Like, you know how, like I said, I got a joke about does anything player ever happen to Meek? Because something is effed up is always happening to Meek, right? People that are blackballed, that tends to be how it goes. You see? And like people that are in good graces, they get treated differently. You know, and all of the bad stuff that be happening to Meek Mill, all of the bad press and stuff like that, none of that would be happening if he was in people's good graces, you know. Now remind you, Meek Mill left Rock Nation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying, you know, but I'm saying, you know, it seems like he's possibly like, I guess, you know, he's trying to say, I don't know, somebody is punishing him for something. You see? Something, like he sweat his head. And it's crazy. Like I can believe it. He was saying something about he was trying to get some money. Some money for his album and some money for a little film that he was trying to do. You know, I said, dang, that's sad. You know, like people be telling people to be independent, but independent artists just, you know, I don't know. Like it seems hard. It does. It seems like a struggle. Like Sauce Walker, like he loves to brag on being independent, and I gotta keep it real. He is the most successful independent artist that I have ever saw. But Sauce Walker be having his hands on a lot and in on a lot of different things. Not to mention he's just not an artist. He has artists up under him. He has a label, you know. He got all kinds of things. to make money. So I don't know. I mean, I guess Sauce will be a good example if you're inspired, but then I kind of feel like he ain't the best example because a lot of people just can't do what he be doing. You know, I can't, you know, because if that's the case, then what's up with everybody else that's independent? You know what I'm saying? Not even trying to be funny, not even trying to compare nobody. But for real, I just feel like, you know, it's one of them things. You know what I'm saying? It is. This is really one of them things. Uh, Now, hold on. Let me stop and read this article about Coil Ray before Coil Ray talk about uh, Trippie Redd. Coil Ray is talking about her and Trippie Redd for the first time lately. Now, I just want to say this before I get started. Coy, you might want to check your baby's formula because she always look like she got gas or need to poop or something like that. She always looks uncomfortable, okay? So look into the formula that you giving her, okay? So shout out to that. And if she not on formula and you are giving her breast milk, then you need to look into what you eating, okay? Because something might be upsetting your baby's stomach. So I just had to say that to the young mother. Now, anyway, Coyle Ray said she took Trippie Redd back after the first time they broke up because she's spiritual. Somebody said, you mean dumb, Coy? They crazy. Their attempt at a reconciliation ended earlier this year when she accused him of cheating. She said she felt like she thought that if it come back to her, it was meant to be when he spent the block. I think I'm at the point for sure where she says she thinks all men cheat. I don't think that, okay? Just putting that out there. And then, you know, the interviewer asked her, so are you just accepting it? And she was like, I can't say that. She was basically saying she don't think she accepted it. She just feel like she gonna be by herself. She said, but she don't want to be. She want, you know, to have a family and stuff like that. You know, it's sad. But it is what it is. You know, they got a beautiful baby together, and now it's time to push forward. And I can honestly say, so far, okay, so far, they all right. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they doing okay. But the baby's so little, child. So little. I telling you, it's too early to praise them. It is. But shout out to Coyle Ray, who is doing, she, you know, back making music, putting herself back out there, back in the limelight, you know, and talking about this Trippie Redd stuff. Shout out to her. Shout out to that. What else is going on these internet streets? So Ice Spice is doing interviews, and I'm like, go ahead, Spice. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her and shout out to that. Now I was looking at Spice and I was like, what happened? Like, I just seriously want to know. Y'all know how people be saying that they be doing what's it called? Y'all know when they be trying to embarrass people or whatnot. I think that's definitely what happened to Spice. Like, for real. I don't know why they made her frail and pale for that little second. But, child, she got her little weight up and she's back. It's crazy, though. I be feeling like somebody is definitely doing a number on Ice Spice, though. Because I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Like, they knew what type of music she made before they brought her out. How is it when you bring her out, she making bops? Not bops for everybody, but bops for a certain audience. You know what I'm saying? Because it just is what it is. Ice Spice sound is different. It's not for everybody. But when it's done right, she sounds amazing. With that being said, when she first came out, the music sounded good. Then it started sounding crazy. That's weird to me. That's weird to me. Somebody is trying to sabotage Ice Spice's career. It just is what it is. Somebody. I was listening to an interview she did yesterday. She said she signed to 2 labels. With that being said, she done pissed one of them off. You see? Yeah, it just is what it is. But anyway, she was doing an interview. Just recently where she was talking about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. So, like, we're going to have to get into that. We're going to get into that. I think I want to do a different live for that, though. So, shout out to that. I do. I think I want to do a different live for that. Because I got some questions that I want to ask y'all. It just is what it is. And, like, I don't know. I can't explain it, but... Yeah, I got some questions that I want to ask y'all about it. So, hold on. Y'all hold that thought. But let me just say this. I'm sure the Barbs ain't feeling... The Barbs ain't feeling it. But I love the way Ice Spice spoke on Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? I do. I love it. I do. She was like, oh, that's mother. I love it. You know? I said, go ahead, Ice Spice. Get her with the kindness. It is what it is. Now, Agua V, I hope Agua V is doing well. She's gotten quiet. You know, which is, I mean, I don't know. Could be a good thing, you know, because for those of us who don't know, Agua was, you know, Agua is going through something. Postpartum depression. You know, she got this little bitty baby. Oh my God, her baby looks just like her. He looks identical to Agua. Like, he looked like a boy version of her. But anyway, she got this tiny, tiny baby that she's trying to raise with her husband. You know, and I just feel sorry for Agua. I do. A part of me feels sorry for Agua because Agua definitely tried to do it right. You know, it is what it is. She tried. She did. So shout out to her and shout out to that. You know, I feel like Agua tried to do it the way it's supposed to. Geo. You know, she got with somebody. She got married. She had a baby. But the only problem is, you know, he just ain't no good guy, according to Agbar. He just ain't no good guy. Bean head ass ain't doing her right. And I appreciate that because I was rooting for that fool, you see. But that's what happens, child. That's what happens when you be like, when you root for folks that you know nothing about. Cause this one here say so. You can't do that. So you got to go off of your own accord. But anyway, I bought it. I bought all the Wolf tickets. Because, you know, Agboy had sold them so well. But, child, long story short, this man ain't no good man at all, allegedly. You know, and he just Just trash, broke, and don't know how to keep his hands to himself. I said, oh, good God. You see, the child, I started praying immediately. So anyway, shout out to Aqua V. I really, really pray for her and her mental. You know what I'm saying? More importantly, her mental health. I will say this too. She was saying something about like she had addressed the Cardi B stuff. I said, oh God, I probably would have did that. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? She was like, I know that a lot of y'all are saying this and this and that, and she was like, I just need to find my strength like she did. And I'm like, wow, that was big. You know what I'm saying? That was big of Akbar. Because she didn't have to mention Cardi at all. You know what I'm saying? And if I was her, I wouldn't. But the truth of the matter is, I cannot remember, but I guess Akbar V had something to say when Cardi B first said she was leaving Offset or something. I know Akbar V used to poke at Cardi B a lot. You know what I'm saying? She thought it was, to me, she thought it was funny. That's why you gotta be careful what you laugh at. She thought it was funny that Cardi B was going through stuff with her husband. But if I'm Akbar V, I wouldn't have never mentioned Cardi. Excuse me, it just is what it is. But shout out to her. Shout out to that. Now, speaking of Cardi B, we talked about Cardi B yesterday. Cardi B got her own little stuff she got going on. She got to get that album put out. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. I know she just feel like, damn, it's here though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's finally, it is happening to me. You see? So shout out to her and shout out to that. And then let me tell y'all something real quick before we keep keeping on with the gossip. Let me just tell y'all real news, right? Word on the curb is people were saying something about Trump trying to erase history, right? And I don't agree with it. I don't. But at the end of the day, I think that we have to just teach our own, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, right, there's a lot of things that we teach our children that nobody taught them in school, So I just feel like history can be just another one of those things. It is what it is. Sometimes when you can't change things, you gotta just change the way you view it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I viewed it. I just viewed it like, great, just another thing that I have to tell my babies about myself. It is what it is. So yeah. Yes, Poopa Stars. Y'all know I don't really talk politics, but that's how I feel about that. Okay? That's how I feel about all of the changes that these people want to make. It just is what it is. It's actually up to each household, right, to teach your kids what you want your children to know. Ultimately. And I'll take it a step further. Yeah, shout out to that, because y'all know that's what I like to do here. Me, myself, personally, I don't like things that are going to bait me or upset me, if that makes sense. So, like, for instance, when they make movies about that type of history, count me out. I don't want to see that. I just don't be want to see that. It's just, I can't explain it, but I just think that it makes things weird, if that makes sense. I think it makes things weird. If I got to keep it real. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be taught, but I'm saying we got to really be real with ourselves about the effect that it can cause, right? Because, like, can you imagine being in history class and then you hear about people being mistreated, we will say. I feel like once you hear about that mistreatment, I feel like it does something to you, right? And it's not positive. Yeah. You know, I feel like you begin to look at things differently. You know? Um, you begin to lose respect for certain individuals and stuff like that. The teachers and stuff like that. You know? I mean, it just is what it is. I just honestly, if I'm being all the way real, I don't know how much good it does when they teach that type of history, if it makes sense. And I'll take it a step further, child, because you know that's what I love to do. Not to mention, not to mention, right, that the things that they were teaching in school when we were growing up, that is a very small portion of things that they could have really told us. Let's keep it real, you know? Um, so again, y'all know me. I hate half the story. If I can't have all of it, I don't want any of it. That's how I am. So I just feel like, how bad could it be if they take the 20 to 25% of the whole story that they chose to give us anyway? You know, it's just like, in other words, I don't know. I think it did, them teaching that history did more harm than good, if you ask me. That's just my most humble personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you feel differently and you feel like it is damn, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not positive. It's more productive, I would say. Like, let me know. And maybe that's not even the word I'm looking for either, you know, but like, what good does it do us to know? You know what I'm saying? What good does it know? It's not like I can say, oh, I'm going to take that history and go to the bank and get me a loan for a home today. You know? Or I'm going to take that history and cash out. You know, cash out. Buy me some property. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, shit. I'm gonna take that history and start me a business today. A full-fledged business that's gonna create generational wealth for my kids. You see? It's just like, what is that knowledge really doing for me today in real time? Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like, I'm going to take that history and, you know, use it to fund my lifestyle. You know, I'll never have to work again because I have the knowledge of history that was taught to me many many, many years ago. You see, I'm just trying to figure out, you know, it's like help me. Somebody help me. Please, somebody help me. I just want to know the benefits. You know, I just this is it. That's it. You know, I want to know the benefit, you know. Because honestly, when I was a kid, learning that type of stuff did nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. In fact, it kind of made me feel away, you know, and it's not a good way. You know what I'm saying? So everything good that I feel about myself, everything, all the confidence that I put into being who I am, all the confidence, you know, and the love and the admiration that I have for people who look like me. I don't know. I can't say it really came from any of that, if it makes sense. It never came from any of that. You know, I love to hear how strong people were. You know, but to sit around and listen to their struggles and how they was treated and the mistreatment that they went through, you know, only to compare it to life today. It just doesn't do a lot of good for my mental. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I partially get the outrage. You know, I do. Uh, you know, I do. But then at the same time, I'm like, sometimes I feel like we gotta, you know, we have to be more selective, you know what I'm saying, about what we really care about, you know? And I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Because for me, you know, my children living a life of no struggle is like what you know pushes me every day. You know what I'm saying? What gets me going? What gets me out of bed? What lights a fire up under me? You know? That just don't have nothing to do with that, really. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah. Y'all, somebody gotta help me out. You know, it is what it is. Like, it's up to us, I feel like, you know, because I take it a step further. School doesn't teach us a lot of shit that we should know. You know, shoot, you know, just like money management skills, um, shit, self-employment. Teach motherfucker about being a business owner, you know. Um, how such and such did this, what family did that, you know. Honestly, school teaches people how to go out and work, how to be a worker, right? It's a time you got to be at school. So they teach you how to be a reliable worker, an on-time worker. You see, it ain't much coming up out of that like that, for real. It ain't much coming up out of that like that, for real. So, like, as parents, it's up to us to teach our children the things that they need to be being taught anyway. A lot of that shit don't come from school. Anyway. And when I think about creating generational wealth for my kids, I'm sorry, you know, like that just, it just, you know, it's just the last thing on my mind, if that makes sense. You know, just the last thing on my mind. What Harriet Tubman them went through and stuff like that. You know, it's just, I don't know. I just don't see a whole lot of benefit in what's being taught anyway. Okay? Now, I like when they say, okay, such and such made the first and such made this. That's amazing. That's amazing history. We need to know that. You know, people need to know how capable they are, you know what I'm saying, of being great. But like all that other stuff, I don't know. It just don't make a lot of sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to y'all? It just don't. Okay. So shout out to that. Yeah. I'm like, come on now. What are we teaching these kids anyway? You know, shoot. Besides a waste, it just, I don't know. It just feels like a waste of time to me. Anyway, you know, so it is what it is. Now, and that's not saying I agree with it. That's just saying that it's one of those things that I'm not about to make a fuss out of, if that makes sense. And I'll take it a step further. At this point, I'm kind of done fussing. Yeah, you want the truth, you're going to have to be able to hand it over here with me. At this point, I'm kind of done making fusses anyway, because I just feel like people are going to do whatever they want to do anyway. Does that make sense? Sure. So anyway, my bad. But real quick, back to the Akbar V thing. Shout out to Akbar V. But Akbar V, the people want you to call the popo. It is what it is. They say call the popo. It ain't nothing we can do for you at this time. That's what they said, child. And I don't make the news, right? I just report it. So it is what it is, child. And if you just now getting here, make sure you hit the like button. Lock in. We was talking about Chrisean this morning. You might have to rewind, okay? Replay game. You might have to hit the rewind button, because I probably ain't going back. You see? Not back into time. But like, yeah, I talked about Chrisean, and Chrisean got a little family drama right now, but thank God it's not her. She got a sister who's in jail, and waiting to see what her fate gonna be with that. And so Chrisean has the baby. So shout out to that. Chrisean has her niece, the sister's baby, which looks to be around the same age as Junior. So yeah, shout out to Chrisean for holding her sister down. Her sister, Chastity, who, she got a bond. $150,000 bond. So anyway, shout out to that. And then, I said we're going to talk about this Ice Spice interview on another video. I sure am. So what else is going on? Meek Mill is saying he blackballed, which, thanks for letting us know, Meek, because we absolutely had no clue, right? I had no clue. But now that he says it, it makes sense, because they be treating him like shit, you know. And that's how they do you when you blackball. So shout out to Meek Mill for dropping that little dun-dun on. Hopefully he'll be okay. You know, blackballed and all. You're a black man. You've been having black balls. You know, at the end of the day, you want the truth. Hold on, guys. But no, for real, all jokes aside, somebody was telling Meek Mill that he, you know, because Meek was saying that he trying to get $5 million to do his thing. You know, Meek is independent. He wanted to get $5 million to fund an album and a little film that he said he was trying to make. Somebody said, invest in yourself. And I said, you ain't wrong when you're right. So shout out to that. Meek, I agree. Okay? Invest in your damn self when you can. Because you can't sit around waiting on nobody to do nothing for you. That just is what that is. So shout out to that. And then, hold on, y'all. I need to take a real quick break. Real quick break. Hold on. I ain't never heard that shit. Some songs. Hold on, y'all. Real quick. Shout out to Tamara Macon, who said said that word on the curb is what's called it. That the Las Vegas people had Bruno Mars. They were strong arming Bruno, okay, because he allegedly owed a lot of money. Hold on, let me see. What? Shout out to that. Y'all, I got to make a new video. Yes, y'all. A child, word on the curb. Ooh, y'all. I gotta get up from off of a good child. I'm finna get from up off of here with y'all. Cause it's some breaking news. Let me get off of here. I'm about to end this live, Pooper Stars, but I'm about to crank it right back up like an old Chevy that run hard. So shout out to that. Give me 5 minutes and I'll be right back. I appreciate everybody that came through and hit that like button. I said we're on a mission. Come on, black people. And now people. You see? So shout out to that. I'll see y'all in a minute. Bye.